Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. It is a wet Wednesday afternoon in the Flint Hills of Kansas, and unfortunately, some of that water made its way into our ACEware cabin, and poor Chuck's been busy all morning trying to vacuum water from the basement. He's taking a break now, and he may be joining us. We'll see, but think he's glad that he can take a break from that. Today, we are going to see what's new with the release of Student Manager 75. And Matthew, if I counted correctly, you have about a dozen new goodies that you'll be sharing with us in a moment. And as I turn the controls over to Matthew, I'll remind you to drop any questions you may have along the way into the chat box for me. I'll let you know that Jason's on the line as well with us today. And so if you have some AceWeb questions, you can certainly ask those, and he'll give us just a little shout out about what's going on in AceWeb as well. So Matthew, we are seeing your screen, and I'm going to turn things over to you to show us what's new in 75.
Great. You should be seeing my screen now, right?
We are seeing your screen.
Okay. Well, the first thing I'm going to show you is the keyboard shortcuts has had a little bit of a makeover here. Actually, kind of a redesign. If I can click in here. Okay. So F1 to get to it, or help and keyboard shortcuts. But what it does is it launches over here on the right now, and it used to be just a normal screen like my quick launch here. In the middle, well, it wouldn't allow you, like when you open another screen, well, before it wouldn't allow you to open other screens or you'd be burying it. With it parked like this on the side, I can still open other screens and be able to look, okay, if there is something over here that I need to do, like, I'm in the middle of doing something with this student, but I want to do a person locator real quick and find somebody else. Alan. Okay. And what happened? First name. Helps if I search by last name. Okay. Now I find Jason Allen. I can bring his screen up, do whatever I need to do. And if I don't know the F5 key off the top of my head, having this parked over here gives me the ability to not have to remember those. And at any point, you can hit OK to get rid of it. For those of you that use the dashboard, let me get out of the screen because dashboard's a little funky. But if I have my keyboard shortcuts and I want to do dashboard, you can do that in parallel, or have both of them come up. You can actually do it in reverse order and have keyboard shortcuts, whichever. But the dashboard, you can't bring up other screens. A lot of the other screens don't play nice with dashboard also being open. So I don't recommend opening other screens on top of the dashboard, but you can with the F1. All right, so let's get into something here. One of the new things with the so course preferences, for one thing, I've reorganized these a little bit, mainly to get these in alphabetical order up here. But then in the process of doing that, I've also set it so that CEUs, credits, and hours can be labeled other things. So maybe your organization doesn't do credits, you guys do units. You can relabel credits to be units and use that instead. So that way when you pull up a course, in my search screening, because I've got the because I've made my screen smaller for the webinar. That's why search keeps going clear off the side here. But okay, so this should be better. So if I pull up a course, and now you see units. Actually, with add edit regis, it also applies there as well, units instead of credits. So you can relabel those to what you need those to be. Okay, another preference, and this is blocking. Whoops, this is a register preference. So this disallow reg in the same class, different semester. So what it's doing is it's going by catalog code. If you've got somebody already in a catalog code, a certain catalog code, registering them in a different semester of that catalog code, it's going to bring up a warning in Student Manager saying, are you sure you want to do that? They've already taken the course, and we can see that. Let me bring up, let's pick on Jason Allen still. So he's in several of these already. He's got Extend Student Managers already in there twice, so let's put him in Mastering Student Manager a second time. That's fine. Add registration, mastering. He's definitely not in that one because I've got nobody in that one. Yes, do it. Don't hassle me. Did it not have the same catalog code? Or did I pick the wrong course? Mastering. Okay. Let's try this again. Oh, did I not checkmark the preference? Edit preferences. No, I have it checked. Okay. I'm losing my mind. Ace Club.
Matthew, do you have to close and come back? Close and come back to get that to recognize? That should recognize it off.
No, yeah. What's going on is my Mastering Student Manager has the wrong catalog code. It has Ace Club in it, and it should have ACE 010. So if I switch this to ACE 010, now hit OK Close. Now, see, it's the law of programmers giving a presentation. Something doesn't go right. So now mastering. Yes, don't do it. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Student is already registered in an ACE 010 course. Would you like to still register the student? Well, no, I don't want to do that because, hey, I'm trying to prevent that from happening. So prevent students from taking algebra more than once. Now this preference for Chuck, you want to mute your mic? We're hearing feedback. We have this done in Student Manager. We are working on it to also work in ACEware, but that's going to be probably after conference before it's done. So we are working on that. All right, next one is email, waitlist. So let's see if I've got, Chuck, we're still getting noise from your mic.
Sorry about that.
All right, new thing on, and let me make this smaller. There we go. Okay, new thing on the waitlist screen is that email is now available to view on here. And of course, you can reorganize these, and it will save as the note up here says. So feel free to move that, push that email in front of the registration note or wherever you need to push that on the screen. But we've got that clear off to the right side on my screen here, but you can certainly reorder as you feel feel free to do. All right, next one. And I've got a pretty big group of registrations right here. And if I do show group, the new thing, again on the smaller screen, due, paid, and balance is now showing up on the grouping screen. That way you can see right from here, okay, who in the group is still owing money, or if there is, some sort of balance on the group, you can see that pretty quickly. All right. Mail. Okay, so next thing is with, actually, bring up this course. On the quick reports, we've had the email roster to instructor for I don't know how long, ages. Well, new thing with it though is we now are tying it to a template, an email template. So if I find, and there's actually two of them in here. One's the ROS to Teach, which is the regular email without HTML coding, and then there's a ROS to Teach HTML. It's still, when you run that routine, it'll ask you which template to use, and it's going to grab whichever template based on your response. These are, when you upgrade to 75, these templates will get put in your system. So you just need to come in here then and edit as you see fit. And also with this, not only a header, but if you want to put a custom footer or something, you can put whatever you need to do down in the bottom. Don't change the email body. Actually, whatever you put in here in the email body is going to be ignored. That's why I have in here asterisk, 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 student list populates here, so that, that's letting you know when you run the routine, those 11 or 12 options of name, email, whatever student information you're wanting to pull into the roster, it's grabbing those, whichever one you're wanting will get populated into the body. So don't mess with that, or if you do, it's just going to get ignored. So header, footer, do whatever you need to do, and also with this, so I've got here, I'm just typing plain text. If I do put it in quotes and start putting coding with it, that's also respected. So you can do either way you need to do. Okay. Next. Okay. Also with templates, and let me pull up this course again. So quick reports. If I do a send quick email to class, and yes, do all. Don't need the report. Okay, so here I've got the basic email coming up. The new thing though is the drop down up here, and it is showing me all of my email templates. So maybe I'm wanting to do another reminder outside of the reminder email routine. You can do that. You can just drop down, select the template, and it automatically populates the email from that template. So make sure you're picking a template though that respects course information. You can't, since this is a class email, you can't bring in like an instructor type template, with all instructor information. That won't generate in here, at least not very well. If you code it right, possibly, but it's got to be based off of course code and all that stuff. But yeah, so depending on the template, but reminder is a good one if you just have another template that you seem to always be typing the same thing over and over again. Put it in a different template, and you can do that instead. So I'm going to cancel that. Okay, so while I'm here, one of the new things is, actually there's several new things based off the course screen. Let me look at persons to notify. Somebody was running into, and I won't name names, but somebody was running into where they were needing to put in about 6 or 7 email addresses in the persons to notify. And we had a limit of 100 characters. So they were hitting that 100 character limit with that restriction. So to help them out and help everyone else out that runs into the same thing, we've now made it 150 characters instead of just 100. So, okay, next thing. If I go with the instructor, okay, so got an instructor here. For those of you that have, like you send multiple checks to your instructors, so you're putting in the instructor more than once on a course. Let me put Chuck in here. Second time, hourly, I don't know. Whatever you need to do. Maybe the 2 are just now 8 hours a piece instead of one lump sum of 16. 8. So dividing it into 2. But anyway, we have a bunch of functions on reports that would then show each instructor multiple times. This would be the find inst, class teach, count teach, and quick inst functions. If I do a quick report here real quick, name roster is fine, modify the default report, and if I put in here real quick, count teach, parameters, I think it's just RG, CRC, and hopefully, yeah. So now it's just showing 1, whereas prior to the 75 build, the count teach would actually come up with 2 instructors, even though there's just the 1, Chuck Havlicek. So, so it's kind of more of a behavior change than really a new feature, but yeah, I want to discard chart changes. But anyway, just letting you know about that, and you can my notes in the forum list those 4 functions, and I believe we're updating help soonish with that information. So next thing, cancel. All right. So here we've got Chuck on this course, 16 hours, total pay $800. If I want to cancel this hasn't got anybody enrolled in it, so I'm going to go ahead and just cancel it. 0 enrolled is my Y. New question is, do you also want to clear the instructor pay for this course? Well, we pay the instructor by the hour. The instructor isn't going to be showing up for this course, so we're not going to pay them. So yes, I want to clear. Course now canceled. And if I look at the instructor is still on here. It's just zeroed out the instructor pay. So you at least still retain the record of who was supposed to teach this course if it hadn't gotten canceled. So Okay, I think I'm done. Am I done? No. One more with the course screen. Let me go now to this one. 3 people. And if I do a mass register, it doesn't matter. I'm going to mass register into processing credit cards here. Hit OK here. The new thing is well, there's a couple new things. One of the new things is it's telling you which course you're coming from and which course you're going to, kind of as a reminder in the header here to keep you informed of what's going on in this process. But also with this, the registration note now shows on here as well. So if you did have some notes of this person isn't supposed to get mass registered in the next course or whatever, you can quickly see that in here, and you can uncheck that person. Or I don't know what you guys need that for, but hey, we've got it, so you can use it. All right, done with that. No, I'm getting out of that. Okay. So now I'm finally done with the course. Well, this next one's kind of course related, but it's actually the location. If I just find ACEware headquarters, additional info, the new thing is the location phone. That is now available on here, and it does allow extension numbers if you need to put an extension at the end of the phone number. So all that does fit in there, and it's in the proper phone format. So for those of you that do reporting, Loc phone is the name of the field, LOCPHONE. So fairly straightforward there, but we'll also get that in help so that you can reference that when you're updating your reports with that. Okay. Nearing the end here. F9. I should have just showed this earlier when I was playing around with F9. But anyway, new things, not really, yeah, new. Well, and also a little bit of a behavior change. The main thing is this week and last week on this on the dashboard. Before, it wasn't telling you what is defined as this week, and actually as we were playing with it, we realized this week was considered Saturday through today. Well, most of you, well, in the business world, it's usually Monday is the beginning of the week. So we've changed that to where the beginning of the week is actually Monday, and then going through today. Last week would be Monday through Sunday, if that does look correct. Yep, Monday the 29th through Sunday, May 5th. So, whoops, wrong button. Okay. I think that is everything I've got, unless I'm missing.
Well, you've got a lot of thank yous and thank you very muches and those types of things from some of these new goodies, Matthew, on this end. So if any other questions come up, feel free to type those in the chat box. Jason, while we transition here, do you want to kind of share what's going on with ACEware?
Sure, I can do that. We're keeping Stein fairly busy, getting all the polishing touches on our conference release of the next build of ACEware. If we can give you kind of a little word of mouth rumor on some of the things that we're putting in, or a couple of the things we're putting in. One's going to be a way to reorganize your ACEware INI user interface to make it a little bit more user-friendly, so it's not just a huge list of 125 settings. We're going to give each setting a category and then allow you to filter by those categories. So if you're setting up ACEware or you just did a server move and you just need to see all the ones that you're going to need to set to get the base ACEware installed, you can filter just by those and get those entered in. It's also going to have some other functionality just to make it, like I said, a little bit more user-friendly. One of the other things, speaking of user-friendly, is we recently found if you're using password restrictions on ACEware, so that, and what I mean by password restrictions is when a user creates an account, you can actually toggle a variable on your person.awp template that restricts them to using either one uppercase and one lowercase, or at least one number, or a special character like a punctuation. You can set those requirements on your person AWP template. However, it was warning people in the most frustrating way possible, because you would try a password and then it would say you need to have one uppercase letter. And so you'd change your password and put one uppercase letter in there, and you'd hit it again, and it would say you must have one numeric character. And it would do this until it got through the whole list of requirements, which, like I say, we didn't do that intentionally to cause any rage, but we did find that boo-boo, and we're making that display all the list at one time. So that'll be a nice little addition as well. But like I say, other than that, we're just putting on some finishing touches, and we're going to have some other exciting stuff to release at conference. So look forward to seeing you all there.
Thank you, Jason. I'll remind everybody that, of course, you can refer back to our ACEware forum or our webinar archives to get another review of what's been released in 75. And I want to remind you that in May, in just a week from today, in fact, Lindsay will be talking to everybody about becoming a registration grouping guru. She will go over all things related to registration grouping. And next month, we are heading to Vegas. And so next month at this time, in fact, we will be there, and we'll still take registrations. I see some folks here today that aren't registered, so we would be happy to have you join us next month in Vegas. Chuck, any last comments before we let these fine folks get back to their work?
Sorry, I had to unmute there. I apologize. I was trying to snarf a sandwich while Matthew was talking there. So, no, other than, again, Matthew has been very busy. I think there's a lot of great goodies, and he's promising more for conference. So, another reason to go to conference. And you guys take care, enjoy the springtime, and I hope to see a bunch of you in Vegas a month from now. All right.
Have a good afternoon, everyone. Bye.
Bye.